The night on New London Colony was peaceful. Twin moons shined softly over the quiet houses, wind moved through the metal trees, and the colony lights blinked like stars on the ground. Most families were already asleep, and the streets were empty, but in House Unit 14, something strange was about to happen. Inside lived a young engineer named Ethan Hawley. He was calm, friendly, and always helped his neighbors. He was not a soldier, not a spy, not someone important in politics. He was just a simple human living a simple life. Ethan was reading a book on his bed when he heard a low humming sound. At first he thought it was a generator outside, but the sound grew louder, shaking the walls slightly. His lights flickered, his tablet screen froze, and the air became heavy like before a storm. Ethan stood up and walked toward the door, but before he could take another step, the whole room filled with bright white light. Not normal light, it was sharp, cold, and unnatural. It felt like the light was alive, watching him, surrounding him. Ethan tried to move, but his body felt frozen. The humming changed into a high-pitched pulse that hit his ears like a knife. Then a circular symbol appeared on the floor under his feet. Glowing blue like fire trapped in glass, the circle expanded, forming patterns no human language used. Ethan's eyes widened as the symbols climbed up the walls like living shadows. Outside, a neighbor named Mara noticed Ethan's house shaking. She stepped out and saw light pouring from every window. It looked like the house was turning into a star. Mara shouted for help, but no one could get close. The air around the house felt hot and heavy. Pushing everyone back inside, Ethan tried to scream, but the sound never left his throat. The light wrapped around him like invisible chains. His vision blurred, his legs lifted off the floor. For a moment, everything became silent. The room, the house, the world. Then Ethan vanished into the light, gone without a trace. The light snapped off instantly. The house became dark and quiet. The humming stopped. Ethan Hawley was nowhere. The only thing left was a glowing burn mark on the metal floor, a strange symbol that pulsed slowly like a dying heartbeat. Neighbors rushed inside when the heat faded. They looked around the empty room in fear and confusion. The bed was still warm. The book was still open. The light still flickered, but Ethan was gone, completely gone. Someone whispered, "Aliens," another whispered. This was no accident, and everyone knew deep inside that something terrible had happened. Something that would not stay hidden for long. A single human had vanished from his own home, and Earth would not stay silent about it. Because in every human heart, there was one rule stronger than fear. No one takes a human without facing the full anger of Earth. The stars did not know it yet, but tonight, they had made a deadly mistake. The message arrived at Earth Command at 3:19 UTC. Every screen in the control room lit up red. Alarms blared. Warning sirens echoed through the halls. Commander Aria Morgan stood in front of the central console. Her eyes sharp, her jaw tight, she read the report slowly. Her fingers tapping the table. One human had been taken, Ethan Hawley, an engineer from New London Colony, and the alien symbol burned into his room was not a threat Earth could ignore. Morgan turned to her officers and spoke clearly. "Activate the Orion Protocol immediately." The room went silent for a moment. Then chaos erupted as every officer began working. Fleets were being prepared. Ships powered on, weapons armed, shields calibrated. The Orion Protocol was reserved for one thing only: a human had been kidnapped. And now the galaxy would pay for it. Far above the planet, orbiting warships stirred from decades of rest. Engines roared to life, glowing orange and red. Every fleet command received orders simultaneously. Helios, Nova, and Eclipse strike fleets launched toward the unknown coordinates. Admirals repeated the same words to their captains: "Find the human, bring him back." Leave none alive who stands in our way. Earth sent no diplomats. Earth sent no negotiators. Earth sent fleets hungry for one thing: revenge. Because humans were not like other species, humans protected each other, even if it meant burning entire star systems, even if it meant facing fleets 10 times larger, even if it meant risking everything, as the ships jumped into hyperspace. News spread quickly across human colonies. Every human felt the same anger, the same determination. They knew what it meant when one of their own was taken. They knew the consequences for the aliens, and far in the Orion Rift, alien spies detected the incoming fleets. They whispered among themselves, worried, afraid. But they could not guess the full power of human wrath. The fleets moved faster than anything the galaxy had seen, coordinates locked, weapons ready, sensors scanning for life. Every captain knew the stakes. Not a single human would forgive this crime. Not a single human would stop until Ethan Hawley was safe. And as hyperspace streaks past the stars, one truth became clear across every human heart. Touch one human, and Earth will answer with fire. The countdown to revenge had begun. The galaxy had no choice but to watch, and Ethan Hawley, unaware of the full scale of the hunt, was still trapped, still waiting, still alive. But the human storm was coming, and no one, not even the aliens who had taken him, would survive its fury far beyond the Orion Rift. The Draxian Dominion ruled their territory with cold precision. Their ships were massive, their weapons deadly, and their soldiers loyal without question. The Draxians believed themselves superior, strong, and untouchable. They had watched humans grow over the years, learning, adapting, and expanding. But in their arrogance, they thought humans were weak, emotional, and easy to manipulate. The leaders of the Dominion gathered in a tall steel hall, their eyes sharp, their scales glinting under artificial lights. One Draxian commander spoke, his voice deep and cruel. "We will take one human, show our power, and send a warning to their weak planet." Others nodded. Agreeing with the plan, they did not see danger, only opportunity on New London Colony. A single human had vanished, but far from Earth. The Draxians had no idea what was coming. Sensors in their outer territory detected unusual activity. They noticed small signals, distant blips, but ignored them, thinking they were minor. They had no clue that 3 full human strike fleets were already moving into position. Silent, fast, and precise, the first human ship jumped into Draxian space without warning. It did not communicate, did not ask permission. It did not hesitate. More ships followed. Forming a wall of fire and steel, the Dominion officers laughed at first, thinking humans were slow and reckless. Then the first laser hit and the laughter stopped. A Draxian cruiser exploded in a ball of fire. Alarms rang across the fleet. Panic spread like wildfire. Admiral Cathar bellowed orders, but his soldiers could not react fast enough. Human ships moved like predators, coordinated perfectly. Each weapon strike hit its target with terrifying precision. For the Draxians, it was not just an attack, it was a nightmare. The aliens realized too late the truth. Humans fight hardest when one of their own is in danger. They fight like fire, unstoppable, and relentless. Inside the Draxian War Council, the Emperor stared at the holographic screens. His claws trembled, his voice quiet. They are coming for him," he said. The commanders looked around, fear filling the room. They had underestimated humanity. They had made a grave mistake. And that mistake would cost them everything. Ethan Hawley, trapped far away, did not yet know how close rescue was. But the Dominion could already feel the coming storm. Every star system they controlled shook under human engines. Every base they held felt the heat of incoming weapons. And the message was clear across space and time. you take one human, and Earth will make the stars burn for revenge. The Dominion had crossed the line, and now the galaxy would watch humanity show what it meant to protect one of their own. Ethan Hawley woke in a cold metal chamber. The walls were smooth and glowing faintly. Energy cuffs held his wrists, pulsing with blue light. He tried to move, but the restraints were strong. Around him stood the Draxian scientists, tall, scaled, and cruel. Their eyes sharp like blades, their voices cold. They spoke to him in a language he could barely understand, but he felt the meaning clearly. He was their prisoner. They would study him, test him, break him. They believed a single human was nothing, a weak, fragile creature to experiment on, but Ethan was no ordinary man. Humans had a strange gift, the ability to survive, to adapt, even against impossible odds. He studied his surroundings quickly. Every guard, every tool, every glowing panel. He noticed a small vent near the floor. A security camera blinked, but he saw a pattern in its rotation. His mind raced as he planned. He knew patience was as important as strength. And he also knew someone was coming, far across space. The human fleets moved faster than thought. Every ship coordinated like one living organism. Every weapon was ready. Every captain understood the mission. They did not come for territory or riches or conquest. They came for one human, Ethan Hawley. Inside the chamber, Ethan whispered to himself, "They're coming." The sound of distant explosions shook the base walls. The Draxian guards panicked, shouting to each other. The scientists tried to hide their fear behind calm expressions. But the humans had arrived, and the Draxians realized too late that Ethan was the key. The human they had taken was not alone. He had the entire planet behind him. And every human fleet was ready to strike. The lights in the chamber flickered as an explosion tore through the nearest wall. Debris flew, alarms screamed, energy panels sparked. Ethan used the chaos to his advantage. He flexed his energy cuffs, testing for weaknesses. The sound of boots running toward him grew louder. Voices shouted in human language. "Ethan Hawley." "Hold on, we're here." He smiled through the fear and pain. Humans never left their own behind. The Draxians had underestimated what it meant to take one human. And now they would see the full wrath of Earth. The stars themselves would burn with human fury. And Ethan Hawley, the man they thought was weak, was about to become the spark that ignited it all. The human fleet struck the Draxian core systems with deadly precision. Ships moved like a single organism, engines glowing red and white. Every weapon fired at the right moment, every strike calculated. The Draxian Dominion scrambled to respond, but they were too slow. Their ships exploded one by one. Sending fire and debris into space, the human fleets advanced relentlessly, leaving no chance for escape inside the Draxian base. Alarms screamed, lights flickered, and panic spread. Ethan Hawley, still in his energy cuffs, felt the walls shake as the first breach hit. Debris fell around him, sparks flying like shooting stars. Human Marines stormed in, weapons glowing, armor shining. "Ethan Hawley." One shouted, "You're coming home." Ethan smiled, tears in his eyes. He had survived the impossible. And now the humans had arrived. The Draxians realized they could not win. Their fleets were destroyed. Their walls were collapsing. The man they thought was weak had the full power of Earth behind him. The Draxian Emperor tried to call for surrender, but Earth had already made its decision. The message was clear, loud, and uncheckable. Return every human you have taken alive. Every species in the galaxy now understood the rule. No one touches a human without facing the full wrath of Earth. As Ethan walked with the Marines toward the waiting fleet, he looked at the burning stars in the distance. Systems he had never imagined being destroyed were now glowing in fire. the humans had shown their power. Not for conquest, not for greed, but to protect one of their own. And the galaxy remembered that lesson forever. The Draxian survivors would tell stories of the night one human was taken, and how Earth made the stars themselves burn for revenge. From that day, the rule was written in every corner of space. Take one human, and the universe will answer with fire. Ethan Hawley returned home a hero, not because he fought alone, but because he reminded everyone why humans were never weak. The fleets returned, engines cooling, shields down. The stars were calm again. But the memory burned. Humans never forgot. Humans never left one behind, and the galaxy would never forget the night Earth made the stars burn.